Is meeting time, and I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The United States of America, the Republic, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty. Okay, we have a quorum. Commissioner Piner is going to begin in a few minutes, which will give us a full board. Motion to approve the minutes of July 21. We have a motion by Commissioner Gibbons and a second by Commissioner Brummel. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gibbons and a second by Commissioner Massimiano. Any discussion on the payment of the bills and the financial report? Look great to me. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, up next we have on the floor, we've got a request from the Elkton Alliance as a request to create a mural at 219. And tell us what you're wanting to do here.
It's Margie's pit.
All right, we got Margie Blystone and Jessica Price here representing.
Margie Blystone, Elkton Arts and Entertainment Chairman. I would like to also introduce, I think Bruce is on the call here. Bruce Gulick is
yes, I am.
Is who is kind of behind this project. I met Bruce when I did a call for artists for the mural that's currently going up at Howard Street at the municipal lot there. And Bruce had a concept for Bernard Purdy mural. And you have two different ideas there in front of you, concepts of that mural. We would love to see that go up in the Arts and Entertainment District here, as Bernard Purdy is, from what I understand, he is Elkton's son, basically, and quite an accomplished drummer. As a matter of fact, in Rolling Stone magazine's top 100 drummers of all time, he is number 20.
Wow.
So that is quite an achievement. So we are looking at the spot at 219, just on the other side here of that wall, wondering if we can get permission to put a mural dedicated to Bernard Purdy in that spot.
Very nice. Now, I guess my knee-jerk reaction that I'm having, we're not 100% sure what we're going to do with that building.
Mm-hmm.
And we're juggling it around at this point. I know there's been some discussion of a remodel. There's been some discussion of an add-on. There's been some discussion of demolition. So there's, I don't think that this board has made any decisions unless, how you feel. I mean, I'm pretty flat. I actually think it will give a nice little look. If the artist wanted to do something like this, and even there's a lot of time, effort, and energy put into something like this, and then a year later it's down, I know that would be heartbreaking.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion that, you know how you put down a subfloor before you put down tile?
Yeah.
Can we attach something like that to the building that can be removed? Because it would be a real shame to have that mural destroyed or painted over because somebody else bought the building.
But even how long was the mural supposed to be up? Because right now, even if you were to put the mural up, it would have an immediate effect. I mean, if the building were to go down 7 or 8 months from now, I mean, the mural will have done its just duty, I think. So how long were you all thinking in terms of putting that up?
Well, murals do have a life expectancy at some point. Typically what we can do is have the artist, pay them to come back and update it and touch-ups and things like that, such as the mural that we currently have on the site of the pizza place there on Bow Street. I mean, that mural, was starting to flake, and we got grant money to have that improved and, brought back. Bruce, you said something, I'm not sure, one time, I've talked to several different artists recently, about doing it on sort of a canvas that is able to attach to the building. Was that you?
I don't think that I brought that up, but that is a possibility. That's totally something that can be done. It adds, the cost of the canvas, of course, but
Okay.
um, and it's made to fit that spot. From my perspective, I'm open to locations. I'm not set on that location or any other. It's very flexible. So if there's something more permanent, I think Mr. Purdy would deserve that, but all murals have a life expectancy. Like, they don't last forever.
I was going to ask, is there a second location if something were to happen to this building? Is there another location that,
Well, there was a location that Jean had recommended that is on Booth Street. That is the town hall that owns the building.
the public?
Yeah, it's like public storage or something. My thoughts about that is it's really not a highly visible area at all. And this is something that we don't really want tucked away somewhere. We'd like it to be in an area that gets a lot of, exposure. There's other places that I've thought of. One of them is the building, and I think it just recently sold there on Bridge Street. That's right there between Main and Howard Street, that big white side there. And that would get a ton of exposure, but we'll have to hunt down the owners of that building. So, yeah, so that, we thought, well, here's a beautiful spot that's got a lot of exposure right near Town Hall. So it would be kind of an ideal spot for it. But if it is indeed, not available, or if we can maybe hold off for a while until a decision is made about that building, how long do you think it would be?
What would be the starting time to put this in?
Well, we would have to go before the Historic Commission to get okay, and that would be about a month. And once I got the okay from that, I would apply for a grant from Maryland State Arts Council. It'll probably be about another month. So technically, I think in the fall, he could start probably end of October.
Lou, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think, is there, I know we've really never talked anymore about that property, but what do you see that property as next door?
I see it at grade. That's a way of saying it. It really doesn't serve a good function. It's so old. It's an old building. And I wouldn't put any of our staff in there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty rough building over there. Well, let me ask this question of the board. In concept, are we all in agreement that we could allow them to pursue the mural?
Yeah, my approval.
Right?
I definitely think that he should have a mural. I don't want to see it put somewhere where it's not going to be allowed to stay.
Of course, I have a knee-jerk thought. And Dan Hanley, are you on the phone? Unmute him.
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Dan, could you give the board a cost estimate on what it would be to put a back wall on the farmer's market?
A back wall?
Yeah, with the farmer's market in downtown is an open air. It's an open air venue, but if we put a wall or I'm going to say some type of building material across the back of it, it could be used specifically for this mural. Could you give me an idea what you think that would cost?
Give me a couple of days. I know lumber prices are through the roof, but let me do some research. I'll get back to the board.
I don't know if the board would even support that. I don't know.
It's an interesting idea. How do you think your mural would be in that case? Because you're going to be painting the door, whatever.
Well, I'm not going to be, Bruce will be painting, but
I can adapt to anything. I think it's a good idea, and I think Elkton would benefit, and I think Mr. Purdy would benefit from seeing that. I think it's a very positive project. So.
I understand that, Bruce, but the location is, you know where we're talking about.
I haven't been there in a little while, so I don't really know the farmers market, but I would trust your judgment on that. I don't have any reason to think that's unsuitable. I mean, you can adjust the painting or a concept to any shape to fit, you know.
Well, I think that we're all in favor of something. We'll have Dan give us an idea of what it would cost to, and then we have to determine the good thing about, I'm gonna say that it doesn't have to be sealed with the ground, so the flood water would come through, and you could also, if it was, yeah, it would be more of a windbreak, but you could even put holes in to break it, to allow the wind and water to go through it. So I think that there's some things that we could do there, but I could almost see in that part of a sign that's saying, welcome to our arts and entertainment district, welcome to our downtown.
Yeah.
I think you could almost coordinate a lot of things with, you know, something like that. I think it could be kind of unique.
Yeah, definitely.
You're talking about flooding, maybe you can extend the height of the, from the bottom to the top,
Yeah,
instead of
but,
right at the bottom.
but I do agree with Lewis, that building that's here, it's gonna probably go down, or it was gonna be sold,
Yeah.
because it's a tremendous amount of work in there. Yeah.
Well, I greatly appreciate your, you know, the idea that you were on board with this, and if we could move forward possibly with the idea of putting it down at the farmer's market. Thank you for pivoting with that.
Well, I think give it some, maybe create us a drawing of what that would look like. But I think that we could create a spot there.
Yes.
I think it,
How it progresses his age.
Yes.
And
And the
this over here. Is that a story?
Yeah, I think that's his bio, isn't it?
Yes, my idea was to do one panel with bands that he had worked with over the years, and then one panel with just his bio. Almost treat it like a Smithsonian exhibit, you know, the just clear-cut biographical, you know, historical information. With those 3 photographs of his different points in his career.
Yeah, I like
He's an
that.
amazing guy. I met him on Sunday. He is an amazing man.
Could I put a comment in here somewhere?
yes, sir.
I'm sitting here thinking about the farmer's market, and I'm also thinking about another piece of property right nearby called Scrap Hill. And I think maybe Charlie would know where, I mean, Commissioner Givens would know Scrap Hill there. And if you came down Bridge Street, you look right at Scrap Hill. And if you're on Howard Street, you can look over to the left and see Scrap Hill. Maybe we could do something there and put a sign, erect a sign there and put the art there. And it's out of the floodplain.
Is that one of the buildings that's American Hardware?
Or Scrap Hill's where the cemetery hill is, right?
The Scrap Hill is right below Bill McCool's there, or McCool's.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scrap
Mhm.
Mount a sign on that hillside there. And I know we could probably do that. It wouldn't take a monstrous effort to do it. Everybody on Bridge Street coming down northbound on Bridge Street would see that sign there. And you could also see it from Howard Street too. And boy, that would give you, I think Margie and Jessica would agree that that would give you pretty good exposure because there's a lot of traffic on Bridge Street.
That would even be greater.
And that's exactly it. If we can get more exposure to Mr. Purdy, but also to Elkton Arts and Entertainment
Yeah.
District as a destination would be fantastic.
Well, listen, we're open for that. So let's think out, you know, I hate to use the words, think outside the box here, but I think we have. Lou, thank you for that. I mean, we have an opportunity for the hill there. We have an opportunity for the farmer's market. You could almost even, when you came to the end of Howard Street, you're looking toward American Home and Hardware. I mean, I bet you they would even let you put something over on the other stop, but that's kind of out of the district now. You've left the district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've left it. Well, listen, I think we'll continue.
So are there
Give you
any steps that you would like me to take moving forward, or we just wait to hear back from you?
I think you wait to hear back from us. We'll work with Dan. We'll have Louis and the team will go talk to maybe McCool and see if we can partner. Just get some options there.
Actually,
Get us
pardon
a-
me, but actually we own that scrap hill.
We
Mr.
own the hill.
Yes, Mr. McCool has been very emphatic that we maintain it because we own it.
Very good point.
Ah,
See, it's already done then.
Mayor, should Dan give us an estimate on the recommended sign on Scrap Hill?
Yeah, that would be great too. Dan, you hear what Louis is asking, so you're in charge of that one too.
Okey dokey.
Farmers market.
He's got it.
Which one would be?
I am, yeah.
All right.
Scrap hill.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else? You got, Gene, I think Lou was gonna bring up the, Alliance alcohol waiver extension request for Fall Fest. Did you have some additional stuff with that? Or was that it?
No, I think,
Yes, I'm asking
Oh,
you.
you're asking me?
Well, they're here,
Yeah,
I can-
basically, I had contacted the county government to make sure that we would get permission to close both Rose Lane and Courthouse Lane, which they had granted us. The idea is we would like to put a second area of entertainment further up the street near the Arts Council. And if somebody has something that they just bought and purchased, we don't want them not to be able to walk up to the entertainment and be able to watch that as well. So I guess we're requesting an extension up to at least the Arts Council area where we would have like a second entertainment.
What is the
It's mostly local bands. So we have Ride the Goat. We have some children's entertainment that'll be up there. We also have, there's a couple other bands. They're all local bands this year. COVID, we're just trying to make it a more local event, just because we weren't sure like the sponsorship and whatnot, with everybody hurting. So we went the local route this year.
Jessica, I was approached about, you guys having a car event, a car show. Have you guys thought about
We
trying to have?
do have one for September with the Fall Fest.
Yeah,
So for this year, we just did the two, just to kind of get back into the swing of things. But we're looking into next year, maybe switching them to cruises, because we would not need the trophies and all the other things that we're having issues with this year. And then that way we could have more of them again.
I think they were specifically saying before Fall Fest. Where you plan
Well, now it's so late that we don't have any road closures for it, so that would be an issue trying to get a closure in. Plus, we have so many events. We have a Corn Fest that's coming in August too. It was just, that's why we kind of get our feet wet again after being off for a year. We put in the two. So
I was just supposed to ask.
yeah,
I'm also struggling.
yeah. We've been struggling with volunteers and whatnot.
I've also had people asking me that same
Yeah.
question. And a lot of people want to see the music on Main continue a little bit later into the year.
Usually we stop in October because by November it gets so cool. People don't want to, but we've been doing the first Fridays of every month and all the special events we've had music. So we're going at least till October. And I believe it is Nick, your band that month in October, I believe. So Rob, Mr. Messi, will cap off our music on Main. But we do plan on like adding some music, some winter events if we can. I'm trying to get the local choirs and things to come up with that.
Thank you, Jess. Lou, do you have anything to add on the alcohol waiver extension?
no, I agree with the Elkton Alliance that be extended up there, and they got Dan Schneckenberger from the county to authorize it or to approve it. So I think that should be granted by the board.
We have a motion to approve the Alliance alcohol waiver location extension request for Fall Fest. So got a motion by Commissioner Finer, second by Commissioner Massimiano. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is there any more talk about an intercom system on Main North?
You mean speaker system?
Speaker system.
I applied for a grant through T-Mobile neighborhood, what was it? It was like neighborhood grant or something like that, that we found out about during the Main Street Conference. Applied for that in May. They said that they were making their decisions in June, and we've heard,
I think it's July.
Was it July?
Yeah, but we
we've
haven't.
heard nothing. So It was for 25,000, I think was what I applied for. So,
And I applied for MIP grant money too, just in case we didn't get that one, but they haven't made decisions on that either, because we would need some assistance with it to implement it, because I think it's like $17,000. Each speaker, I think, is 3,000 or 4,000. And then we have to get the system put in place.
do we have anything, Rob? We don't have anything.
Yeah, we have 6 or 8 speakers that we acquired, 4 years ago.
You have those,
And the way that they work is you actually physically have to put them out onto the corners. They work with radio FM signal. You find a signal that's not in use, and then you can play it off of your iPad or off your, and it works.
yeah, and it worked great for the drive-in, because we did, so people could sit in their car. Last October.
It's a very effective. The challenge is getting the volunteers to moving the speaker system from point A to point
And
B.
each one has to be individually powered as well, so you not only have to find a place to put it, but you gotta make sure you can plug it in too.
It's a little bit of a challenge. They work fantastic.
Yeah, we use it.
They work fantastic.
But if we get the money, we are set to go with it because we've had the gentleman come out and do all of the,
You tested everything to make sure it would fit. like, all the
Exactly.
space
So
and
you can
everything, so-
have an announcement from North Street to the courthouse. to-
Yeah, pretty much from like the
To
Elkton Forest
Florida.
area all the way up to the courthouse.
Everybody's gonna be hearing the same thing, whether you're piping an announcement or.
Yeah, and there's a
music
portable
or-
unit that we can plug up to the Fall Fest stage where the music from Fall Fest can be piped up as well.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
thank you.
So what's been the average of the number of volunteers that you've had in the past for the Fall Fest? Obviously,
Fall Fest, we probably have like 30 or 40. We have a contingent that comes in the morning to help with crackers and vendors. We have people that man the information table all day long. There's usually people in our building so that they can man it for extra restrooms. And then we have different contests are run by volunteers. So Caesar College will have their own volunteers for the battle bands, the animal, just kind of animal controls, or the pet contest, they'll have all their volunteers. So it is, and then we usually have a lot of children, or not children, but teenagers that come, not obviously in the past. And I think up in middle school is interested in helping this year for the children's area. We usually have like 20 or so up there. So it's at least 40, sometimes it's 50, like it takes a lot.
Hey, Jessica, could you guys give me something in writing for the Fall Fest? A request for volunteers?
Yes.
Because,
yes, I know
our
that
company-
Megan Jefferson is an important employee as well.
Important
She comes
employee.
every year.
And they have 8 hours of applied for our working staff to either take that day and help. So they just need to find some place to help. So
Okay,
give me something right now, pass along.
sure, that'd be great.
All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Louis George, you have anything else to report, sir?
The only thing I'd like to mention is I've sent a couple of videos of parcel I that's under construction, the Trammell Crow project. And as you can see how it's a monstrous project, but I've never seen so much concerted effort made to have that site prepared for that roughly 800,000 square foot building, the initial building they're putting up. And also Free State Business Park out at Bell Hill Muddy Lane, that's actively under construction right now. And they hope to put a 50,000 square foot building up probably in the next 7 to 8 months. When I was out there talking to the senior project manager, that's the expected timeline on that. So we have a lot of really interesting commercial projects underway.
Very good, thank you. Okay, I have a couple of things to report, if I could. First and foremost, the board attended a ribbon cutting at Highline Warren today. Highline Warren is located on Conica Drive. We got to meet the CFO, COO, the plant manager, the operations manager, and we have a local Elkton graduate from the class of 1993, and it was Mr. Mike Matt Batee is a graduate of the high school, and he's going to be running that facility, which is, quite frankly, truly exciting. Highline Warren is going to employ 120 individuals in that brand new 267,000 square foot state-of-the-art logistics building that they've got over there. They are begging for workers. So I guess I'm kind of reaching out that they told me that they would hire 60 people today. They need the bodies. They had a work fair, and they had 9 or 10 that showed up. And sometimes they almost believe that the person is just checking the unemployment box at this point. But a tremendous amount, they're high-paying jobs over there. I think it's close to $20 an hour, which is pretty darn good when it's elevated the whole pay in the whole area. You know, just a few years ago, I know that in my business, we have a little convenience store. In that store, we were paying folks $8, $9, $10 an hour, and now we're up as high as $14 an hour. So it really has brought the cost of living up for local people, some of these jobs. I mean, Acme used to be one of the highest paying jobs. They're probably one of the lowest paying jobs today compared to these other jobs. But we have a lot of opportunities even at Trumo Medical. Northrop Grumman is adding jobs. Not including, we don't even know what's going to be in the Elkton Commerce Center, in that 500,000 square foot building that Trammell Crow is building. But my understanding is we're going to have a lot of jobs. We're going to need a lot of housing. It's going to be an amazing, I think it could be an amazing times, amazing growth if we do it correctly, slowly, and do the right things as we're doing it. I wanted to mention, Michelle did some research with the board, and I guess what I would ask you to do is meet with her one-on-one, and she will talk to you a little bit about the healthcare. The board talked about maybe having a benefit of the elected officials to have us under the healthcare plan, and that can happen. That can happen. So we could be covered under the healthcare plan just like other employees in the town. But if we move forward with that, it has to always happen during an election cycle, and we have one coming up next May. So this would actually be pretty good that it would work that way. So if we make that and we like what we're seeing in the cost to ourselves as individuals as well as the town, then it's something we can move forward in. But I would ask everyone maybe to meet with Michelle, and she'll give you the particulars. With that, I'm going to ask for a closed meeting after the board talks with their discussions, and we won't reconvene once we get done with that. And in that meeting, it's to discuss appointment, employment. Well, I'll go through that when the time comes. Commissioner Massimiano, you are up.
I really have nothing to report this week except the National Night Out for the Police that went quite well last night. I was doing face painting and I had a line all day and I didn't stop until after dark. But there was a lot of activity and a great turnout, good communication between the police department and the citizens. I was glad to see that. And I'm really excited to see all these things happening in Elkton and just really glad to be part of this board.
I wanted to thank you for all your hard efforts, and same with Commissioner Kleiner. Of course, Earl, he was bouncing around from spot to spot, but he got it done. Commissioner Kleiner, you're up.
Yeah, I just wanted to commend the police department for a well job to put together last night. I even had fun myself out there. But everyone put together, the community, also the sponsors, and all the volunteers. I just want to thank him. I think it was a good night. Thank you. And happy belated birthday to Miss Jean Broomhall.
Commissioner Gibbons.
Before I present what I have, Louis, we want to get them the gist of the little walk we took with KCI on Collins Street. I know the mayor sent a text that he wanted to be there. I think he went by, but I don't think the text was read by you at that time.
No, I met with the Commissioner Gibbons and Scott Koenig with the KCI. He wanted to get a field perspective on conditions out there. So we walked from East High Street over to the Board of Education property for probably the pathway for extending South Street over to that location. And I subsequently contacted Perry Willis with the Cecil County Public Schools and asked him for the probability that Cecil County Board of Education would permit us to have an easement to put the road on their property once it gets to that point. And at that point would be at the driveway or the access way for the Board of Ed, and also allow a left and right turn there to get into the neighborhood community center from East High Street on this extended road. So he's going to get us a proposal for the concept plan and get it probably presented on the 18th of August at that meeting to prepare the concept plan, which includes surveying all those properties so we can start the acquisition process, which would probably be a lengthy and complicated process, but we have to acquire that property to build that extension.
Thank you, sir. And as Rob Massimiano said, the National Night Out, and of course, many of us were there. I thought there was good interaction with all the people that were there, and maybe it was a time when people actually came out of that house to be there, because that's the largest presence of people that I've seen since police officers have been involved with the National Night Out. Finally, two of the guys serving hot dogs will soon be officers in the town of Elkton. They got 2 more weeks to go and they'll be happy. Fortunately for me, both were students. One was named Zach and one was named Chuck, and they did a very good job handing out the hot dogs. It was well behaved, well attended.
It was.
Thank you. And the mayor took pictures of everybody, put them on Facebook, let them know that Elkton still lives.
That's right. And Madam Birthday Girl, you were up.
Exactly the reason I wasn't there last night. And the more I hear, the more I'm sorry, because it sounds like I really missed a great time, especially with all 4 of you and our police department. Chief, I hope you got my email yesterday. I wasn't sure about why I wasn't there, because my heart was there with all of you. So
we are aware. We are aware, and we appreciate all the support. Thank you all for everything you did, and thank you, Dan, too, and your crew. For
And the chief mentioned, and she's not doing it now, 2 officers that put this together did that in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Time. That was tremendous.
Absolutely.
I don't know what they would have done if they started a month ago. It would have been overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I ask is if I am here next year, if I can coordinate the date with you before it's scheduled. So I don't want this.
It's actually a national event, and so it's the first Tuesday of August.
Oh, okay. All right. So it just wasn't good for me, but I'm glad it went well. It was a beautiful evening. It looked like to be out in the park. So thank you. I had nothing.
It may be on your birthday next year, and in that way, now yours is July, right?
August 3rd.
Yeah, so it could be on your birthday next year, and that'll be the celebration to you for us.
There was one other thing, mentioning the hot dog cookers. Officer Jacob Brown was cooking hot dogs early on, and he told me that his wife was being induced today, so they're having a brand new baby today, and I'd like to say congratulations to Officer Brown and his wife.
Fantastic.
And of course, my nephew, I think he stayed there the entire time. He was one of the barbers. He had another person from the shop, plus there was another barber across the highway. They were there that entire time. Unfortunately, the school system used to open, and when we had the national night out, the haircuts that the kids had gotten would normally be fresh. This year won't be fresh because it was so early, because the kids go back September the 1, but it was good anyway.
Fantastic. Okay, this is the time of the meeting. We open up the floor for anyone that has anything for the good of the town of Elkton.
Yeah, hi. My name's Pat Opal, 137 Milestone Road, and I'm here representing Historic Elk Landing. I just wanted to let the board know that we're having our kayaking through history event again this year. It takes off from Marina Park, and we have a historian that will lead the kayaks down the Little Elk Creek and in that area, explaining everything that has happened with the town, starting back, ending with the Revolutionary War down at Elk Landing. And it's a very interesting event. If anyone's into kayaking, you can go into our website, which is www.elklanding.org, and all the information is there under upcoming events.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat, what was the date on that?
I'm sorry, it's September 4th. It's actually Labor Day weekend, which the advantage there is if anybody's on the kayak trip, if they get some sore muscles, they'll have an extra day to recover before they have to go back to work.
And what time does that start in the morning?
It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's about a 2-hour trip round all the way from it starts at Meadow Park, ends at Elk Landing, and then goes back to, or not Meadow Park, Marina Park.
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have anything to say this evening or this afternoon? One thing I did want to mention, there will not be a workshop next week. We have nothing on the agenda. So no workshop on August the 11th, 2021. Okay, I made a motion to have a closed meeting to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluations of employees, appointees, officials, or whoever this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. I made the motion, second by Commissioner Givens. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. In attendance, I just want, Lou, I just want you in attendance with the board.
Yes.
And John Downs will be here also.
Okay, I'll come over.
All right. We will not re-adjourn. Thank you all. Bye-bye.